Breaking news out of Iraq now. The United Nations saying more than 1,000 people, mainly civilians, have been killed and about the same number injured in this fighting over the violence in Iraq as these Sunni militants continue to sweep through the northern part of the country down toward Baghdad. Colonel Ralph Peters with me now, and a Fox News military analyst. Now, how are you, Colonel? Good morning to you. We missed you last week. It's good to have you back on here. You say right now Iraq is lost, Iraq is over. And now you're asking the question, it's not a question of what's in the best interest of Iraq. It's what's in the best interest of the United States. Now, as you pose that question, what's the answer, Colonel?
Well, first of all, John Kerry, Secretary Kerry, needs to start dealing with reality. And the State Department's obsession with lines on a map is doing us ill service. I mean, Kerry's running all over Iraq trying to persuade the various players to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Bill, Iraq is done, finished, gone. It's over. We can't reconcile these people. The hatreds are too deep. Our president's kept it on life support for 8 years while we were there, but now it's irretrievably broken. So instead of trying to cobble together some remnant of Iraq in its current borders, we need to be trying to shape what the wreckage is going to look like. And we need to concentrate not on what is in the interests of this dreadful and frankly anti-American Baghdad government. We need to concentrate on what is in our interests, and our interests are in protecting the United States against Islamist fanatics.
Okay, now on that point then, the president says we can't play whack-a-mole. That game's over. You say we have no choice but to play whack-a-mole. When they pop up, you have to go after them. Explain.
Look, you cannot run strategy and foreign policy by bumper stickers. And some years back, somebody came up with the idea of whack-a-mole to describe hitting individual or small groups of terrorists. It says, that's a terrible thing. We can't play whack-a-mole. Well, tell me what else you will do. Killing terrorists in onesies and twosies and thousands, if you can do it, is the only way to deal with religious fanatics bent on killing you. They are not reformable. Gitmo should have taught us that much. You've got to go after them, and it's a long-term struggle. There's no magic solution. It is going to last for decades, and we have no alternative to playing whack-a-mole, if you want to call it that.
Okay, so that means air power, and that means you're going to have to send more than 300 American advisors into Iraq to give them the guidance, the intelligence they need to take out these terrorists. It also means you have to go bomb Syria, too. Are you ready and willing to do that?
Well, it's not a question of bombing Syria, because Syria no longer exists as we knew Syria. Rather, there's this ungoverned or governed by ISIS, the religious fanatics, portion of eastern Syria that's the basis for ISIS, the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. And they're hitting them with air power on the move as they march on Baghdad is pretty iffy. We don't have eyes on the ground. It's hard to tell these irregular columns. Even though they're a new form of army, they're not as recognizable as traditional targets. So the way you have to hit them is go into what used to be Syria and hit their bases, make it really, really hurt for them. And frankly, Bill, that will hurt them and slow them. But air power alone is even used heavily won't stop them.
It's also a bigger and wider war. Are we ready for that?
Well, we don't have to get in with boots on the ground at this point. But yes, you're absolutely right. This is not just, I mean, people are saying, oh, we got to prevent an Iraqi civil war. There's already not only an Iraqi civil war, it's a civil war raging throughout the Arab Middle East and beyond into Persia and into Iran between Sunni and Shia. And oh, by the way, the modernizers in both religions are getting sidelined completely. This is brutal. And here's the saddest part. We have the Obama administration has mismanaged Iraq so badly. The best outcome we can hope for in Western Iraq, Sunni Arab Iraq, would be a new Ba'athist government, Saddam Hussein's old cronies.
We'll see if we get that. In the meantime, you're right. A lot of people are going to die in the coming year.
Yes.
Ralph Peters, thank you, Colonel, in Washington.
Thank you.